Hi guys, welcome to GOO ROO Beauty. It's fantastic to see you all here again. Wanted to do a really subtle look today. I do often get requests for sort of subtle wearable daytime looks, so I'm doing another one of those today, but at the same time I wanted to show you a new product for me that I've picked up. It's the Chanel Illusion d'Ombre, and I'm not saying it with the same beautiful French accent that Lisa Eldridge used when she showed hers. She used the colour Illusoire in a recent tutorial. I think it was a quick easy 5-minute look, and she used one of these colors all over her eyelid. It was beautiful, and it's that color that I've seen a few different times on YouTube videos. Nikki from Pixie Woo also recently did I think it was a prom red carpet tutorial where she used the Emerveille color of these eyeshadow pots. So this is what they look like. They look, you know, similar to a paint pot. The consistency of them is really interesting. If you've ever used an e.l.f. cream blush, it's very similar to that. When I showed you my e.l.f. cream blushes, I think I described the texture as like Play-Doh, and the same can be said for these. It's definitely a Play-Doh texture. You can sort of press it and it'll leave your you know, fingerprint in there, but it doesn't, a whole lot of it doesn't come off on your finger. So I would say one of the big differences between these, while they do sort of apply, once you've got them on your brush, they do apply and blend and stay like a powder. But for me, the biggest issue, the biggest difference is figuring out how to get this product onto your brush. They do actually come with a little Chanel brush like this. You can see it's just a sort of, you know, a wide brush, and the instructions in the Chanel packaging show how to use this brush as an eyeliner. Basically they just show to move this out that way, or if you're going underneath, to move the brush inwards that way. But I'm not using these as eyeliners today. I'm using them as, you know, eyeshadows. So I have not used this brush for this look at all today. Instead I've used like 217 type brushes, and that's the biggest difference because of the consistency, is how to get the right amount of this product without it sort of crumbling up into big clumps on your brush. Now I don't have any of the MAC Big Bounce eyeshadows to compare this with, but I have a feeling that the consistency and texture of these Chanel products is probably quite similar to those MAC Big Bounce shadows that came out. So the colors that I'm using today are 3 of 6. Chanel has come out with 6 of them in total. The first one here is called Emerveille, I think is how you may say it, and that is the one that Nikki used in her, Nikki Chapman used in her tutorial. Next color I'm using is the Ebloui, and you can see that's just sort of a brown rusty type red color. Absolutely beautiful for most colored eyes, I would say. And then the third one is probably the more popular one that I've seen used on YouTube most often. It's the Illusoire, and that is like a purpley grey silvery. I have swatched them on my hand here. You can see the Emerveille, the Ebloui and the Illusoire. They're absolutely beautiful. They do have a bit of a shimmer when you put them on the lid. These are all the colors basically of what I've got on my face right now. I'll go through that throughout the demonstration, but I hope that you enjoyed. If you do want to see how I got this wearable daytime look with these Chanel products and more, keep on watching. So here we go. I have already prepped my face. I've applied serum, moisturizer, my Australis primer, and then I've gone over that with Laura Mercier's Tinted Moisturizer SPF 20, and I've used the color Fawn today for that. I have actually applied my Too Faced Shadow Insurance as a primer, just to make sure that whatever I put on top of that on my eyes is going to stay creaseless and for a long time, all day, just as I applied it. I'm going to start first of all with the Emerveille color. This is the number 82 color. I'm going to be using like a 217 type brush. This is Sigma's SS217. I think they've renamed that, I think, E25. So it does take a little bit getting used to how to get, you know, the right amount on your brush, definitely. I'm just using one side to sort of dab, dab, dab into the product. It does come with its own brush, but I think it's more of an eyeliner type brush. At least the Chanel instructions sort of show in the packaging how to use the brush that it comes with as an eyeliner. But I want these as like shadows on my eyes. So I'm just covering my whole lid with that peachy Emerveille color, if that's how you say it. Emerveille? Do not know. And I'm going to bring that down into the inner lower corner. It's going to be the base of a bit of a highlight. Okay, so this is what we should look like by now. If you can see that colour, it's just a really sheer sort of peachy shimmer on my lids. I absolutely love that colour. It's very subtle, but it's going to be a great base for the lid as we add the other colours. Next colour I'm going in is that middle colour here, the Ebloui, if that's how you say it. That is the colour that the lady at the Chanel counter really wanted to put on me. So I did really enjoy it once I saw it on my eyes. It is beautiful for brown eyes, but I'd imagine it would be really nice for blue eyes and green eyes alike. So I'm just dabbing this time just sort of the tip of the brush. It does bounce under the brush, so you do sort of have to, as I say, pay a bit of attention how to get that product actually on one of these type brushes, because it just bounces under the brush rather than provides the normal amount of resistance to then be picked up. So I'm just going to start here, right here, just above the crease, really holding the brush very lightly. We're just going to build this. So this is creating a nice warm colour just above the crease, and yeah, very gently just blending it. So although it is like a sort of moussey consistency in the pan, it does end up blending like a powder, and it does have sort of a powdery finish. My main issue is how to get that product up onto the brush, but you know, it's a buildable product. You can just start with a little bit and build from there. So it's not much of an issue. That's the only sort of way that you work with it differently, is figuring out how to get that up onto the brush. So just sort of with that windshield motion, staying up above the crease for me. Blending, blending, giving that warmth to the crease. It's going to be a nice base for that darker Illusoire that we're going to concentrate in the outer V. I'm going to leave that brush aside so that if I do need to blend in any more of that sort of bluey colour, I have that brush that doesn't have any of this new third colour Illusoire on it, so that I can use it for blending at the end. So I'm going in with another, this is like a 217 brush, just a little bit smaller. It's actually by Bare Escentuals. It's their contour, here we go, their contour shadow brush, just a tiny bit smaller than like a 217. If I hold it up against, you can see the difference between the two. So I'm going to be going in with that now, with that third colour, that Illusoire by Chanel. That's it on my hand, that third colour. It's that purple, smoky grey colour that seems to be the most popular colour of the videos I've seen on YouTube with these products. It's the Illusoire. Just picking that up on the very sort of end of this brush and creating sort of an outer V really gently down in this direction. You can see as the brush sort of forms that outer V shape. A bit more product. I'm going to do the same to the other side. It's just so quick and easy. And you can use paint pots exactly the same way that I'm using these products from Chanel as well. Just go in with a blending brush, a type 217 type brush. You can pop it all over the lid, in the crease. You can contour with them, use them in combination with each other for a really nice quick effect on the go. I'm just going here onto my lower lash line now, just for a bit of definition under there. But I usually always wear my paint pots as a base, and the few occasions that I have worn them just on their own with each other to still contour and everything and go into the crease and all that stuff, I'm very happy with it. They do last a decent amount of time. I always still put my paint pots over a primer and they're beautiful. Okay, and lastly I'm going back in with the first brush that I used, back into the Ebloui colour. And just sort of blending out. We've got the Emerveille on the inner, the Illusoire on the outer. We're going to use the Ebloui just to define that lower lash line very subtly before we go in with some pencil. Okay, now I am just going to add a very slight highlight to the brow bone and the inner corner using, as always, the Wet n Wild Colour Icon Single in Brule. You can see I've definitely hit pan on that. Use this product every day. I love it, and I've got lots of spares so I don't run out. It's just a beautiful creamy matte white matte cream colour. The brush I'm using for this is Sigma's Small Tapered Blending. This is one of my very favourite crease brushes. Just shadow brushes in general, you know, with that tapered tip you can get you know, precision for the inner corner or the brow bone. You've got a beautiful tapered tip for the crease, which then you can blend out with the rest of the fluff. It's just gorgeous. Love this brush a lot. Now I'm going to go in with liner. I'm going to start with Clinique's Black Honey liner. You can see there they obviously have the very famous almost lipstick in black honey, and Clinique have made, you know, pretty much a whole line of black honey products now. And this is just a beautiful, I'll do it on my hand so you can see it. It's a beautiful warm brown shade. It's sort of the lightest brown liner that I have. That's it there on the end. I'm not sure if the camera is picking up the sort of red tones in it, but it's a beautiful lighter brown. It's not a coffee brown, which is what I really like about it. So I'm using the MAC 208 brush to put that on today, and I've got to say I feel like a bit of an idiot because I have been using angled liner brushes for years now to apply my liner. I really like it, and I've shown you some angled liner brushes that I've bought that I use either for my brows or for my eyeliner, but it wasn't until the recent MAC haul that I got a MAC 208. And I wasn't expecting how different it was going to be from the other angled liner brushes that I have. What makes it different is its size. It's a little bit shorter than other angled liner brushes that I have. So if I compare it with like the EcoTools one, you can see the difference in size, but also it's just a lot thinner. So if you look at it front on, which is going to be very difficult to see, it's, yeah, a lot thinner. So the precision is quite high when you're using the MAC 208, so I would thoroughly recommend. I definitely do see a difference between the MAC 208 and other angled liner brushes that I've bought like at the drugstore store or even from Sigma. I love this brush for lining. It's gorgeous and precise. So I'm just going to start about midway on my upper lash line and work outwards, creating a very slight wing there on the end. The 208 is also very good for creating a nice wing. I'm just going to bring that slightly down, just right into my lower lash line. And I'm going to be waterlining with a pencil in a minute. And then I am going to go in with my little stump of a pencil, Urban Decay's 24/7 Glide On pencil. It's rounded there. I'm not going to sharpen it because I'm just using it to go into my waterline and tight lines. So the rounded tip doesn't bother me for that. Now we're going in with mascara. Today I'm going to be using the Prestige My Blackest Lashes. So I've defined my brows with the MAC Omega eyeshadow there, just using an EcoTools angled liner brush. Now I'm going to go in with some under eye concealer. For under eye concealer today, I'm going to be using the Inglot Cream Concealer number 66. They do have a specific under eye circle concealer, but I really like sort of the creamy opaqueness, I guess, of this concealer. So I have used it several times before. I don't have issues with it creasing on me. It's really, really creamy. I really, really like it. So I'm quite happy to use their cream concealer under my eyes. To apply this today, I'm using a Sigma Large Concealer F65 brush. just more in a dabbing type motion. And I'm going to set that cream concealer using Benefit Powderflage. That's the one in the little pink circle, using a fluffy, this is a Sigma SS224 brush. So before I set all of that with powder, I'm going in now with a cream bronzer. I am using the Soleil Tan de Chanel, why not? I have a bit of a Chanel theme today. I am using the Sigma Angled Top Kabuki F84 to put this on. Just dabbing it into the product and trying to contour up quite high there on the cheekbone area. Into the upper hairline. Now for a really pretty sort of pink blush on the cheeks, I'm going in with the Benefit Posietint and then using Sigma's Duo Fiber Powder Blush Brush, the F15. I'm just going to dip that into the Posietint on my hand and pop it right sort of on just above where I've contoured really. This is definitely a beautiful buildable pink and it's very long lasting. Of all the sort of cream or liquid blushes I have, the Benefit Benetint and Posietint are right up there for longevity throughout the day. Just slowly building that, putting a little bit more product on my hand until I've got it, the pinkness that I'm after. Okay, and since we're going with the liquids and the creams in terms of bronzer and blush, I'm going to be using as a bit of a highlight MAC LustreDrops, and that is in the colour Pink Rebel. I'm just going to use the same blush brush, you could use a different one. Just applied a little bit through the squirter bottle onto my hand, and I'm going to be applying that just above where I put the cream blush and around onto my brow. Just have a bit of a glow there. And lastly, before I set all of this with powder, I am just going to go in with a concealer. I do have a bit of a blemish just here. I'm going to dot the Estee Lauder Stay in Place, or Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place concealer. I think that's everything really that I want to cover today. Wearing a tinted moisturizer. It doesn't give a bad finish, that Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer. It really gives a pretty decent coverage as far as just evening out your skin tone. You know, I have freckles and dark spots all over the cook shop, and I think it does a really nice job of just evening out. Okay, and now I'm going to set all of that with the Bare Escentuals ID Mineral Veil. That is the original Mineral Veil. There are plenty of other finishes out available now. I just sort of shake it upside down to leave a little bit left in my lid, and I'm going in with Sigma's SS182 Kabuki brush. Just sort of swirl it around in the lid. You've all seen this before. Swirl, tap, buff. But I don't buff when I'm setting my makeup with the Mineral Veil. I just sort of pat it on with a Kabuki. I'm not going to go over the cheek area that I just applied highlighter and cream blush to help give me a glow. I'm just going to make sure that all the rest of my makeup is pretty well set around my T-zone area really. Just going to go do my hair and lipstick, and I'll be right back with the finished look. Okay guys, I'm back with the finished product. I've just gone in and applied MAC Lip Liner Pencil in Stripdown, followed by their lipstick in Frenzy. Just got those swatched on my hand here just to sort of see the colour family that we're using here, the lipstick and the lip liner there. So I hope that you enjoyed this look. I would definitely recommend those Chanel eyeshadows. It really is a shame that Chanel never goes on sale because they're not cheap. I think those pots run about $48 per pot in Australia, and I think it's about maybe $34 each, something like that in the States. So they are definitely not cheap, but they are beautiful, lovely colours. You can see you can do all kinds of different things with them, but I do really enjoy using them all together. So I hope that you enjoyed this little illustration of how I like to use the Chanel Illusion d'Ombre. Is that how you say it? I don't know, but wishing you all a beautiful day, and we'll see you again really soon. Bye.